There comes a moment in every human life when the weight of caring becomes unbearable. When the opinions of others feel like stones in your chest. When their judgments echo louder than your own heartbeat. When their approval becomes the oxygen you breathe. But what if I told you that the most dangerous person in any room isn't the one who cares too much, but the one who has learned to stop caring about all the wrong things? Arthur Schopenhauer once observed that most people live their lives as prisoners of their own desires and the expectations of others. They dance to music they never chose, wearing masks that grow heavier with each passing day. Today, we explore a profound transformation. The day you stop caring about what doesn't serve your soul. The day you become dangerous to mediocrity, dangerous to conformity, dangerous to the very forces that once controlled you. Picture this. You're standing in a crowded room, surrounded by voices telling you who you should be. For years, you've been a chameleon, shifting colors to match their expectations. Your authentic self buried beneath layers of people, pleasing, and approval-seeking. Then something shifts. A quiet rebellion begins in your chest. Not born of anger, but of exhaustion. The exhaustion of living someone else's life. This is the moment Schopenhauer would call awakening. When you realize that caring about everyone else's opinion is the quickest path to losing yourself entirely. The dangerous person isn't the one who destroys others. The dangerous person is the one who refuses to destroy themselves for the comfort of others. When you stop caring about fitting into boxes that were never meant to contain your essence, you become a threat to every system designed to keep you small. You become dangerous to the narrative that says your worth depends on external validation. Dangerous to the lie that conformity equals safety. There's a beautiful paradox here. The moment you stop caring about being liked by everyone, you become infinitely more likable to the people who matter. When you stop caring about appearing perfect, you become perfectly human. When you stop caring about having all the answers, you become open to life's deepest questions. This isn't about becoming cold or indifferent. This is about becoming selective with your emotional energy. About understanding that caring is a finite resource, and where you invest it determines the quality of your existence. Imagine a tree that tried to please every wind that blew through its branches. It would be twisted, broken, pulled in every direction until it lost all sense of its own shape. But the tree that stands firm, rooted in its own truth, becomes a landmark. It becomes shelter for others, a beacon of strength in the storm. You are that tree. And the day you stop caring about every gust of opinion that tries to bend you is the day you discover your true power. There's a difference between not caring and not caring wisely. The person who cares about nothing becomes empty. The person who cares about everything becomes exhausted. But the person who chooses carefully what deserves their emotional investment, they become unstoppable. When you stop caring about the approval of people who don't even know themselves, you make space for authentic connection with those who do. When you stop caring about maintaining an image that isn't real, you make room for genuine relationships built on truth rather than performance. This transformation doesn't happen overnight. It's a gradual awakening, like dawn breaking slowly across a landscape that was shrouded in darkness. You begin to notice the difference between genuine concern and anxious attachment to outcomes, between loving someone and needing their validation. The dangerous person has learned to love without attachment to results, to give without expectation of return, to speak their truth without requiring others to accept it. They become dangerous to manipulation because they no longer need anything from the manipulator. Dangerous to toxic dynamics because they refuse to participate in games they never agreed to play. Schopenhauer understood that suffering comes from wanting things to be different than they are. The dangerous person has learned to engage with reality as it is, not as they wish it were. This doesn't mean passive acceptance of injustice. It means choosing battles based on purpose rather than emotion. Fighting for what matters rather than reacting to what annoys. When you stop caring about being right in every argument, you become interested in being effective in the ones that matter. When you stop caring about winning every conversation, you become curious about understanding different perspectives. The most dangerous moment for any oppressive system is when an individual stops caring about the rewards that system offers for compliance. When external validation loses its power over you, you become ungovernable. Not rebellious for the sake of rebellion, but free to make choices based on inner wisdom rather than outer pressure. Think about the people who have changed the world. They weren't dangerous because they hated their enemies. They were dangerous because they stopped caring about their enemies' opinions of them. Gandhi didn't defeat the British Empire through violence. He became dangerous by refusing to care about British approval while maintaining his commitment to truth and nonviolence. Rosa Parks didn't start a revolution through aggression. She became dangerous by refusing to care about the social expectations that demanded her compliance with injustice. Your own revolution might be quieter, more personal, but it's no less significant. Every time you choose authenticity over approval, you strike a blow against the forces that keep humanity trapped in false selves. When you stop caring about looking successful and start caring about being fulfilled, you redefine success for everyone around you. When you stop caring about appearing strong and start caring about being vulnerable, you give others permission to be human. The dangerous person has learned that their opinion of themselves matters more than anyone else's opinion of them. Not through arrogance, but through self-awareness. They know their flaws intimately, which makes them immune to having those flaws weaponized against them. They know their strengths genuinely, which makes them immune to false flattery. This inner knowing becomes an invisible shield, not protecting them from all pain, but protecting them from the pain of living someone else's life. When you stop caring about having a perfect life, you become available to the beautiful imperfection of the life you actually have. When you stop caring about being understood by everyone, you become interested in understanding yourself more deeply. The transformation isn't about becoming heartless, it's about becoming heart-smart. Knowing where to invest your emotional energy for maximum growth and minimum drama. It's about recognizing that your peace of mind is not negotiable, that your mental health is not a bargaining chip in someone else's game. The dangerous person has learned to say no without explanation, to set boundaries without justification, to choose themselves without apology. They understand that self-preservation isn't selfish when it allows them to serve from a place of fullness rather than emptiness. When you stop caring about being everything to everyone, you become something powerful to yourself. And from that foundation, you can offer genuine value to others. The most dangerous thing about this transformation is how contagious it becomes. When people see you living authentically, it awakens something in them, a hunger for their own freedom. Your refusal to play small gives others permission to expand. Your commitment to truth creates space for others to be honest. This is why authentic people are often seen as threats by systems built on pretense. Not because they attack those systems, but because they offer an alternative way of being. When you stop caring about maintaining the status quo, you become a walking advertisement for change. Not through preaching, but through living. People see you choosing peace over drama, truth over comfort, authenticity over acceptance, and they begin to question their own choices. The dangerous person doesn't need to convert anyone. Their life becomes the message. Their peace becomes the proof that another way is possible. Schopenhauer taught that wisdom comes through suffering, but what he meant was that wisdom comes through releasing our attachment to avoiding suffering. When you stop caring about having an easy life, you become available to having a meaningful one. When you stop caring about comfort above all else, you become open to growth. The dangerous person has made peace with discomfort. They know that every worthwhile thing in life exists on the other side of something difficult. They've stopped caring about the illusion of safety that comes from staying small, and they've become interested in the authentic security that comes from knowing themselves. This journey isn't about becoming invulnerable, it's about becoming unshakable. Not because nothing can hurt you, but because you know who you are beneath the hurt. When pain visits, and it will, The dangerous person doesn't waste energy pretending it isn't there. They feel it fully, learn from it completely, and let it move through them naturally. They've stopped caring about appearing invincible and started caring about being resilient, stopped caring about avoiding failure and started caring about learning from it. The transformation reaches completion not when you stop caring about anything, but when you start caring about the right things with the right intensity. You care deeply about your values, but lightly about others' opinions of them. You care intensely about your growth, but gently about your mistakes. You care passionately about justice, but peacefully about your role in creating it. You care fiercely about love, but freely about whether it's returned. This is the wisdom Schopenhauer pointed toward. The understanding that attachment to outcomes creates suffering, but detachment from purpose creates meaninglessness. The dangerous person has found the narrow path between these extremes. Engaged but not attached, invested but not dependent, caring but not desperate. They've learned that the most powerful stance in life is to care deeply about what you can control and peacefully about what you cannot. When you reach this understanding, you become dangerous to every force that relies on your anxiety to maintain power over you. Dangerous to the inner critic that feeds on your insecurity. Dangerous to the relationships that depend on your dysfunction. Dangerous to the systems that profit from your self-doubt. Dangerous to the narratives that require your participation in your own diminishment. But most importantly, you become dangerous to the part of yourself that accepted less than you deserved. That settled for approval instead of authenticity. That chose comfort over calling. That preferred safety over significance. That picked fitting in over standing out. The day you stop caring about these false comforts, you step into your true power. Not power over others, but power over yourself. Power to choose your responses instead of being driven by your reactions. Power to create your life instead of just surviving it. This is the ultimate danger you pose to a world that expects you to remain small. You refuse to cooperate with your own oppression. You become living proof that another way is possible. That freedom isn't something you fight for outside yourself, but something you claim within yourself. When you stop caring about fitting into other people's definitions of success, happiness, or worth, you become free to create your own. And that freedom, that authentic self-possession, that quiet confidence in your own path, that is the most dangerous thing you can become. Not dangerous to others, but dangerous to everything that keeps humans trapped in lives they never chose. If this message touched you, if you recognized yourself in these words, if you're ready to embark on your own journey toward dangerous authenticity, comment, "I choose my peace." Because that's what this is really about. Choosing peace over performance, truth over approval, yourself over everyone else's version of who you should be. The day you make that choice is the day you become truly dangerous. Dangerous to mediocrity, dangerous to pretense, dangerous to every force that profits from your diminishment. And in becoming dangerous to these things, you become a gift to the world. A reminder that another way of being is not only possible, but necessary. Your peace is your power. Your authenticity is your rebellion. Your refusal to care about the wrong things is your greatest strength. Choose it. Claim it. Become it. The world needs more dangerous people like you.